So from the live point of view, we are on. Andrea, you decide when to start, maybe after 2-3 more minutes. You are muted.
Let's wait for a couple of minutes, then we start. Thank you. I think that we can start. It is almost 10:04, so I think that we can start. So, good morning, everybody. Good morning to this short pre-event webinar. It's a short webinar. We'll discover together why it is a pre-event and why it is because about Water Knowledge Europe, which is the networking and brokered event that will take place from the 17th to the 19th of October in Brussels and organized by Water Europe. Next. So we're going to speak today. I myself, let me introduce myself. I'm Ed Rubini. I am the Director of Operation of Water Europe. I'm in charge of one of the 3 main programs of Water Europe, which is the collaboration program, which supports Water Knowledge Europe, this flagship event of Water Europe since many years. We have, then 2 Water Europe ambassadors presenting, introducing the experience concerning Water Knowledge Europe and Water Europe as well. There's a Jan Hoffman, Water Europe ambassador, and who is the leader of one of our working groups on water security, and Professor Crisi Laspidou, who is the Water Europe ambassador and vice president for research and innovation in Water Europe. Then we're going to have a question and answer session, a question time where we can discuss about questions that come from the audience, and also to provide you with any kind of information about this important event that will happen in a bit more, few days than a month from today. Can go next. So what is Water Europe? Now, I didn't go through the participants of this webinar today. I guess that we have members of Water Europe, so they perfectly know what is Water Europe, but I also guess that might be participants that have little knowledge about Water Europe. Well, what is Water Europe? Water Europe was born as a European water technology platform almost 20 years ago, and it is today, or has been, since many years, the recognized voice of the water-related innovation and technology development in Europe. We have a clear identified mission, which is to improve the coordination and the collaboration in the water ecosystems, and this is not limited to the European Union, but we also give support to initiative that works beyond the European Union. Of course, enhancing the competitiveness and the performance of our water ecosystem, it's a must, as well contributing through research innovation to water challenges, to say initiatives that are related to research and innovation actions for the water and water-related sectors. We have a strategy because Water Europe is a multi-stakeholder that this is important to represent the full value chain of the water ecosystem, the water sector. And it is a value-based organization because we have a vision. The vision it's a document that we have developed in the last years with a number of revision and new versions. But you can see also on the right that we are a structured organization which has 7 colleges that host different kind of water stakeholders, from the multinational corporations up to the civil society organization, all together in Water Europe, contributing to identify and address the local to the global challenges of the water and water-related sectors. We have more than 250 members in 30 countries. Next, please. Just a few information about the vision of Water Europe, because we want to achieve what we call a water smart society. And what is a water smart society? Water smart society is a society where water can be ensured with criteria and principles that make reference to security, sustainability, and resilience. So the value of water should be recognized, and in order to achieve these important objectives of having the systems, the water ecosystem, sustainable, secure, and resilient, we work in that scarcity and pollution of our water resources are really avoided, that we organize resources, systems, infrastructures in order that resource loops are largely closed, and they mean really to foster the capacity of our society of work in a circular economy. We look at really at the capacity of the water systems or the infrastructures to be resilient against the climate change and the impact of the demographic journey of our planet. And of course, last but not least, but as much as important, it is extremely important for us that all the stakeholders can participate in an inclusive way in a sustainable water governance of our society. Next, please. Now we go on to Water Knowledge Europe. What is Water Knowledge Europe? Well, Water Knowledge Europe is a brokerage event, is a networking event, is an event that we start organizing really many years ago. It aims at supporting the collaboration between the stakeholders of the water sector in the research and innovation environment. What does it mean? It means that we take the opportunity of the opening of an important portion of the call for proposal of the Research and Innovation Framework Program of the European Commission, Horizon Europe, this year, and the last years, and the coming few years again, in order to gather the stakeholders around the same table and promote and to boost and to foster the process for creating consortia, for project ideas to be shared and find potential partners, potential leaders. And we do all these things how? By organizing this event in Brussels. This event in Brussels will be participated by, I'll say, a variety of stakeholders, but what's important that we're going to listen from the voice of the European Commission that will tell us what the Commission expects in terms of calls for proposal, win-win calls for proposal. They will tell us, how really to look into the work program of Horizon Europe and how to identify water-related calls. We'll host during this day also, and we'll see, later on in the detailed agenda, B2B meetings in order to foster the capacity of the stakeholders of get important results and expand their network. And of course, we have also the opportunity for creating the room for other side events that we'll see later on. So now, in the next slide, you will see why you should join us, but not only at Water Knowledge Europe. Water Knowledge Europe is a kind of, it's a flagship event, but Water Europe has, I mean, a broader capacity of giving you, I mean, the right place where you can expand your network. Because through, I mean, Water Knowledge Europe, we do the networking, I mean, the brokerage meetings, we collaborate with the key actors of the water value chain. We can really boost the capacity of researchers and innovators to bring new technologies, new ideas, and to develop what is important, win-win and solid project proposals to submit to the upcoming calls. And of course, there will be also opportunity for exchanging our knowledge and expertise. Now, as I said, I mean, we had a lot of experience in the past years, and let's say members and non-members of Europe joined us many times, and this generated the opportunity for them for creating important consortia, important partnerships, but going even beyond that. Establishing relationship between research and innovation stakeholders, establishing relationship with technology providers, with the problem owners, because you see, I mean, there is a large category of stakeholders which are under the umbrella of the water sector or the water challenges, if you want to see this also from the point of view of the matter that we have a lot of challenges in guiding our society in a better management of our water resources. But once again, I mean, we have been able, I mean, really to gather a lot of people under any circumstances and situations. During the COVID time, we even doubled Water Knowledge Europe. It was done twice in order to allow people, I mean, to be more in a network, even despite, I mean, the problems and the drawbacks given by the pandemic incidents. But now I would like to ask for our speaker, who is Jan Hoffman. Jan, what about Water Knowledge Europe, and what about Water Europe? I mean, what is your experience? And also because you lead a working group of Water Europe on one very important topic, which is about water security. And what can we gain from Water Knowledge Europe? What can we gain from the network of Water Europe?
Thank you very much, Andrea. Thank you for inviting me actually to speak here this morning. Yeah, my name is Jan Hoffman. At the back, you see that I'm from the University of Bath, where I'm director of the Water Innovation and Research Center. But you probably hear from my accent that I'm from the Netherlands. As Andrea said, I'm leading the working group on water security, but I'm also very much involved in the core team of the working group on zero pollution. And if you're asking, what do I gain from Water Knowledge Europe, but in general, Water Europe, I think there are three important things to mention. In the first place, it's a great place to meet people, to talk to people about common problems and common interests. And coming from a university perspective, yeah, that means that I often meet with other people from universities or knowledge institutions. Recently, last summer in June, we had Water Innovation Europe, one of the other flagships, the flagship event of Water Europe. And from that, yeah, I had several follow-up meetings, for instance, with the University of Bologna in Italy, with University of Oulu in Finland, where we see common ground for opportunities for collaboration. And the other thing, I think, what is important, second thing, what is important for yeah, developing ourselves, developing the water sector, is that yeah, we have an opportunity to to create a voice of the water sector towards the European Commission. And one of the things we recently did in the working group on zero pollution was a meeting with two people from the Commission talking about zero pollution. And so the European Commission has adopted this action plan for zero pollution, but we were not clear what do they mean with zero pollution. You cannot measure zero in water. So what is zero pollution? We had a discussion about that, and also how that concept, which is part of this of the Green Deal, how that could be operationalized. How can that be translated into actionable work for water utilities or stakeholders in the water sector? Which was a very interesting discussion, and which led to a document which will be presented, I think, at Water Knowledge Europe from our working group. And then the third thing, which I think is important to mention, is that we also can have a good influence on the research questions, articulation of research questions, and help developing or at least show our ideas and priorities for instance, a next working program in the Horizon Europe program. So in that sense, I think working in the working groups is great. One of the things we are doing in our working group on water security is developing a new white paper. We have already done a part of that, which actually has been published 2 years ago now, a paper on the definition of water security, and we follow mainly the definition of the United Nations, water for health and people, water for ecosystems, water for economic activities, and having sufficient, in all these three categories, having sufficient water. And fourthly, water in combination with climate change and water-related disasters. And one of the things we are developing there is how can we develop this concept? How can we advocate this concept? Because we think the concept of water security is an ideal basis for developing the water smart society that Water Europe has in its vision. But it's also the foundation for creating the Sustainable Development Goals, for instance. So with our team, we published a paper, and we are now working on further developments of that part. And if you understand the vision of Water Europe, you can see immediately that water security is one of the key items in the vision presented there. So I think that's probably what I would like to say for now. As said, it's a good networking event where you can meet people, where you can develop ideas. One of the things we are working on in our working group on zero pollution is also building a consortium for one of the upcoming Horizon Europe calls on this holistic urban water monitoring. I think it's a call which opens somewhere at the end of the year, and then there's a two-stage proposal going in probably with the second stage, if we get to that stage, somewhere next year. But it's an exciting environment to work, to meet people, and to develop the water sector. And happy to answer any questions.
Many thanks, Jan. I mean, it was crystal clear, and I would like also to add something else in that you said about the preparation of the white papers by the working groups, which is also a very important tool for Water Europe in order to identify the potential priorities for the new activities or actions to be taken in research and innovation for the water sector. I mean, this is also, say, one of the roles of the Europe is to gather the opinions of the members of the Europe, the stakeholders of the water sector, and understand, I mean, if you are on the right track in terms of allocating attention, and by attention I mean resources, and of course I mean financial and non-financial resources on priorities which are important. I think that there are always priorities, I mean, in our life, and with limited resources, and then Water Europe supports the development of the identification of the new priorities for the water sector. But this is done, I mean, thanks to the activities of the members, particularly for the working groups.
Yeah, and setting these priorities is done based on scientific evidence. Our white paper is based on literature research, mainly from peer-reviewed, recent peer-reviewed material, but also some gray literature, which leads to articulation of new research questions, identifying where gaps in knowledge exist. But also from that, we came up with some recommendations for policy development, and they are all in the white paper for zero pollution, which can be downloaded from the website from Water Europe.
Exactly, and like also thank you so much for making this very important point. Research and innovation projects are also supposed and expected to contribute for the policy development. And this is also included in setting the priorities. When I say that we set and propose priorities to the Commission about development of the water sector, we also include, I mean, policy issues and topics, because we have, I mean, different kind of categories of challenges that are not only technological. They could be also social, could be financial, and of course about legislation and policy development. So this is important because then it's really a common effort of the water stakeholders with the umbrella Water Europe. And of course, I mean, Water Knowledge Europe is a kind of tip of the iceberg. I mean that at Water Knowledge Europe, we have the working groups of Water Europe meetings in real life. We have this important schedule of speakers, and we're going to see the program in a few minutes from now. We have the opportunity of having the gathering and the B2B meetings and the formal and informal networking. But at the same time, what is important is that there is a big work that's being done across the year, after and before Water Knowledge Europe, which is all that aims, I mean, at really supporting the development of the research innovation for the water domain at large. And this really is it's quite, I mean, a huge effort done by the members of Water Europe, by the Water Europe Secretariat, by the Board of Water Europe, and whoever works in this network, which has a lot of interconnection with other entities and other organizations. Of course, we do not work alone, and we don't want to work alone. So, I mean, networking for us, I mean, is on top of the priorities in terms of organizing our efforts.
Yeah.
I don't know
if I may add one thing,
sure,
Andrea.
Absolutely, please.
I think what very much illustrates how important knowledge is and Water Knowledge Europe, I think also comes from the fact that the UK has been resubscribing to the Horizon Europe program. They wanted to go their own direction, but came to the insight that we can't do it from the UK without Europe. And I think having this part in knowledge development and around water in this case is so much important. It's really important to put our efforts in further development of knowledge and share the knowledge between the stakeholders in the water sector.
Absolutely right, and I agree. And I can also take the opportunity of saying welcome back
Thank you.
to Horizon Europe, and welcome back also for what will be after Horizon Europe. You know, something else that is important we'll see in the program is that we are not working on what is running now in terms of opportunities for creating, for responding to the calls for proposals of Horizon Europe, this running opening. We are going to work also in a structured way on the 19th morning, organizing a workshop in order to identify the upcoming priorities for the upcoming work programs of Horizon Europe. And this already could be, let's say, a first basis in order to discuss what would be the direction or the orientation for the next framework program after Horizon Europe, because also this time will come, and I think that we must get ready and be ready to react properly to the challenges that we know from our daily work and daily dedication to the water sector. I don't know if there are questions from the audience, not yet from now. I would suggest that we have another speaker, which is Professor Crisilla Spidou, and but she sent a recorded video. That's because of you might know of the disaster happened in Thessaly. There's been a flood, heavy rains, and once again it is related to water, unfortunately, but it's a bad event that happened. So I think that we can go now, proceed with the next slides. And we can start presenting the program. So how do we start? We start on 17th. So all registered participants, all the registrants are welcome to join us for an informal gathering in a place that will be communicated in due time, a few days before the event. That will be in the city center in Brussels, and it will be really an informal gathering, just to shake hands and say, okay, once again we are here. And I think for the battlefield of the 18th. So what will happen on the 18th? On the 18th, in the morning, we have the working groups over the Europe that will meet. This is it's an opportunity. It's an area which is reserved and restricted to Water Europe members only. Then we have the networking lunch. So we open to the real core event of Water Knowledge Europe with the networking lunch. And we have then the Water Knowledge Europe main event from 2:15 to 6:30. What does it happen? So we have two main blocks, or three main blocks. The Water Knowledge Europe brokerage event, and then we'll see the program, what is going to happen, the B2B meetings, and then we're going to have some funny, but at the same time, important networking opportunities. There will be a networking cocktail at 6:30 and the networking dinner at 8 p.m. Next, please. So the main event on the 18th, starting at 2:15. You know that basically the water-related calls for proposal most of the time are concentrated in three of the clusters of Horizon Europe. And we start with the DG RTD, with Panagiotis Balabanis, that will speak about an overview of Horizon Europe, and particularly the focus on the cluster 6 with the opportunities of the cluster 6 in the water sector. Then after, we will happy to host the CINEA, which is the European Commission Executive Agency for Climate, and there will be Frederic Accoy speaking about the cluster 5 and the opportunities for the water sector from the cluster 5. Then after Mr. Accoy, we have Ms. Angels Orduna. She's the Executive Director of SPIRE. And I don't know, this might ring a bell in somebody of you. SPIRE is an association founded more than 15 years ago. Water Europe is one of the founding members. And SPIRE, I mean, is an association that works in order to support the industrial sector, particularly the energy and water demanding industries, in finding a new solution for reducing energy consumption, reducing water consumption, recovering resources, and whatever is connected to the industrial loops, particularly when it comes, I mean, to the industrial symbiosis. And particularly in SPIRE generated a partnership, which is a co-financed partnership with the European Commission, is a real PPP, private-public partnership with the European Commission. It's called Project for Planet, and Project for Planet works in order to allocate resources, particularly in the cluster 4 of Horizon Europe, in which water has, I mean, quite an important role, and at the same time, an important allocation of resources. Then after that, we have the coordinator of Water for All, which is a co-funded partnership where Water Europe leads one of the most important pillars. It's about demonstration of innovation. What is important is that Water for All is opening in these days, in September, the new joint transnational course for the water sector. So we are going to have on the 18th of October the presentation of this joint transnational course and all the information on how to participate, how to be an actor of this joint international course, how to develop and prepare a project for this particular kind of course of Water for All. That are still, I mean, under the umbrella of Horizon Europe, because Water for All is a co-funded partnership, which has, I mean, the support of 23 member states, plus additional 10 non-member states, and it is co-funded by the Commission and by the European member states. After that, once again, the floor will go to the European Commission, and particularly to the research executing agency. I'm going to have Giulio Pattanaro speaking on how to develop a successful project proposal, because the REA is the executing agency that follows and monitors the projects. So they are in a very good position to tell us how we should prepare a project proposal. Then after the presentation of Mr. Pattanaro, we have a kind of open window. Participants who wants to show up their project ideas, either they can they are looking for partners, either they are looking for a coordinator, or they're looking to create a consortium. They can come on stage, speak, present their project idea, and be sure that there will be the attention by the audience. Once that the consortium project proposal presentation are over, we enter into the B2B arena. It means that each and every participant will arrive at Water Knowledge Europe on the 17th, they will join 17th, or the 18th, with an already B2B meeting agenda. It means that you will know at what time and where you're going to meet the person that you have chosen for the meeting. And this is like, I mean, a Swiss watch. You will have something like 15 minutes for the discussion, and then you can continue your networking activities or exchange of ideas with other participants of Water Europe during the networking cocktail, because it is really a networking cocktail in which we get in a less formal way, but we get back up to the real networking of the event. Then at the end of the cocktail, we have the networking dinner that we start at 8 p.m. It's a networking dinner. We're going to have an interesting environment made by tables in which you can expand your networking, expand your relationships, and consolidate running of future agreements in the view of responding to the cause of proposal of Horizon Europe. Next, please. Then what does it happen on the 19th? Oh, as I said, on the 19th, we have the workshop on Horizon Europe Work Program 2025-2027. What does it mean? It means that participants will be gathering around tables, thematic tables, for around 1 hour and 45 minutes. they will analyze, speak out, assess, and express their opinion on what will be, for that thematic area, the priorities for the next work program, 2025, 2027, or whatever it will be distributed across the next 3 years. This is important because this will create a critical mass of running actual priorities and challenges for the water sector that we can use in order to suggest the related institutions at the European level on the matter that is urgent to allocate resources for those priorities. Then after that, we have another important event. We have the Zero Pollution for Water Cluster first public event. And we explain what is the Zero Pollution for Water Cluster. Then we have the networking lunch at 1:30. And then we have the side event at 2:30 to 5 p.m., which is about expressing your opinion about the future water KIC. Because as you know, the European Commission committed in developing a new KIC for the water sector. And another one is about culture, which is being developed. But the water KIC needs now, to be well developed. We need, to create the necessary alliance in order to make, a great water KIC for the coming 10, 15 years. Then we go with a lot of things done, with a lot of network created, a lot of relationships in your pockets, maybe with project proposal that will be granted by the Commission, and with an appointment to the next year, to the next Water Knowledge Europe, and to the other events of Water Europe that will happen in 2024. Next, please. At the basis of all these things, as I said, it is the collaboration program, because as I said, we promote the networking, the water, the inclusion of water-related topics in the research and innovation framework programs, and of course, something else that we do is that, as Jan was mentioning before, we need to translate the research and innovation efforts into collaborative projects, because we get resources in order to work on collaborative projects, and collaborative projects are expected to provide results. Results are expected to provide innovation, and innovation is expected to be deployed in the field. So this is, a very simple schema. At the same time, that is pretty difficult. There is a lot of support, and the Water Europe is here for that, to support the water stakeholders in this complex pathway. Next, please. Before I mentioned about, the Water for All partnership, that is called also Water Security for the Planet, and it really wants, to tackle at large the challenges of the water sectors, and of course boosting the EU competitiveness and growth through securing water. And what is important, as I said before, every year in September, Water for All publishes its joint international calls, which are a bit different from the ones of Horizon Europe, but might offer some additional interest and some additional opportunity for different kind of stakeholders to enter into a new world, which is represented by Water for All partnership. Next, please. Then, just a few lines about Water for Planet partnership, which is it really wants to transform the process industry to achieve circularity and the overall climate neutrality. And but this is also important from the point of view of allocating resources, because I would like to mention that while Water for All has more or less a budget of 450 million euro across the duration of the partnership, I'd like to say that Project for Planet Partnership within the Horizon Europe has been able to reserve in terms of financial resources for the 10 process industry sectors 1.4 billion euro, which is an interesting, important amount of financial resources. And I have to say that project has been supported by, before Project for Planet, and that was SPIRE, now Project for Planet, have been able to reach important results in terms of practical outcomes, in terms of innovation. Now, before going to the last slides, I would like to welcome Professor Chris Della-Spito, even though it's a pre-recorded video. And I ask my colleague Isa if we can share the video. Then we go back to our to the last slides and to the conclusion of this webinar.
Hello, I'm Chrissy Della-Spito. I'm a professor at the University of Thessaly, and I'm the Vice President of Collaboration at Water Europe. And I was asked to talk about these brokerage events, like the one that is coming up at the Water Knowledge Europe event. So I can speak about my experience as a young professor at the university in Greece, which was not in Athens. So it didn't have the connections and all the contacts that maybe other bigger universities might have. So I wanted to get involved in projects. I wanted to advance my career. I was, of course, working on the water field, and Water Europe has been really a critical step for me, joining Water Europe and coming to those events, such brokerage events as the one coming up. I've been attending these events for many years. So if you want to get involved in a project, if you want to get involved in a consortium, where do you start? Where do you find all these other actors that will complement the consortium? You have a nice case study, but where do you take it to join a consortium to work on it? If you go to Water Europe, you see everyone there, all the relevant actors, all the people that have the same, some of them will be the same as you, so they might be at the beginning of their careers. Some of them are much more mature, and they've been doing this for years, and they are there to make connections about proposals. So it is the perfect location to meet these people. It is not so easy to find large companies and smaller companies, innovators, professors, European Commission people, Brussels people, the policy, the problem owners. It is not at all easy to find all these actors gathered in a place, talking about how to advance research and innovation, and how to put together consortia for projects. So first of all, it is the presence of all these people and the opportunity to approach them, to introduce yourself, to talk about your case study or your interests or your talents or whatever it is you're bringing on the table, and to find an idea that you will build a consortium around. Then, on the other hand, you have the opportunity to understand the calls. I think this is also very critical. So when you read the call, you try to imagine what the people that wrote it are actually after, how you can address what they want. Many times you don't understand, or many times you misread. If you go there, there is always, at these events, there is always people from the commission that actually explain. So they will take the floor and they will speak about what the commission wants and what their goals are for the next, for the next period. So this has been extremely important because you understand the setting and you see, over these years that I've been attending these events, I've been seeing how the dynamics change and how circular economy might become very important, or the nexus, or some other field around water, the sensors, the digital side of water. There is usually increased interest about around a part of the water arena, and you will see that. You will hear the speeches, and the commission people are usually out there to talk to you, and this is also very important and something that you cannot achieve. Then if you become more involved, you may have the chance to become part of this community and to make your voice heard. So if there is something that you think should be more emphasized because of what's happening in your country or in the setting that you see that it's not very well reflected, Water Europe again is the place for you, because Water Europe has a whole advocacy pillar that actually advocates what should be, advocates water, makes sure that it is high on the agenda, and so all this is really, really important to keep water high. So you will understand, and then because I am now the Vice President of Collaboration, imagine that I came to Water Europe as a young professor that did not have many connections and did not know many people, and gradually I got very successful with projects, and I'm now leading large projects, and I'm now also the Vice President there, which is of course a great honor. And I really love what we are doing, but it's all about the collaborations. So I am the Vice President of Collaboration, and I advocate that in order to reach successful solutions and to implement what the research is doing, we need to collaborate. We need to bring all the stakeholders together that are relevant, and we need to talk about to understand the political process, and to see what the common good is, or how we can all work together in order to reach a good agenda for all of us, not for individual interests. So we need to understand the trade-offs, we need to understand the synergies, and to do this, you can do it at Water Europe, where collaboration is promoted. There is a lot of talk about the living labs, the water-oriented living labs that are a product of Water Europe. And in those, as we analyze these concepts, we promote collaboration. That's what it's all about. And in such a brokerage event, you will see the actors, you will see the policymakers, you will see the decision makers, you will see the innovators, you will see the researchers, and you will see how collaboration can be very productive, and you can become part of this ecosystem. So I consider it very, very valuable. And of course, as you know, if you want to succeed in a project, you will see that successful project partners are, for a very large part, members of Water Europe, and they participate in these events for a good reason, because that's where you understand water, you meet the actors, you become part of this ecosystem, you collaborate, and you can contribute towards promoting the vision of Water Europe. So I really hope you participate, and I hope to see you there, and to discuss about the next day of water under these difficult conditions that our planet is facing. Thank you.
So then I will thank Krisi personally when she will be available. And well, I think that's Krisi and Jan, Krisi Laspidou and Jan Hoffman really took, I mean, the essence of the importance of being part of this network and participating to Water Knowledge Europe. Of course, Water Europe provides also support in the projects. I mean that if you can go to the next slide, please. Yes, we also participate in projects, and we provide different kind of expertise along with the participation to projects with members of Water Europe. And of course, what we provide, I mean, a number of services that are in the greater umbrella of communication, dissemination, the networking, the clustering activities, working on the policy development, so the recommendation in the EU policies, and the work on the Water and Delivery Labs as a territorial tool in order to implement the innovation and support really the real deployment of research from, or rather, I mean, the transformation from the results of research innovation to ready-to-market products that can be deployed in territories. And as you can see, I mean, we make, I mean, a lot of services. There are conditions for us to be part of this project. But if you can see from the next slide, Water Europe is participating in, I don't know now, there are more than 20 projects in which we provide, I mean, one or more of the services that you have seen before. And this is also really to support members and non-members of Europe, because then in the projects we have a lot of partners that might be members and non-members of Europe, really to promote the network, to promote the capacity of these partners and stakeholders to connect one another and to create additional new opportunities for collaborative projects and collaborative activities. I see that there is a question one question from the audience. We say about manufacturer suppliers, this organization seeking to propose but aren't able to physically be present in the event. I'm awfully sorry, but this is a really, I mean, live event. I mean, it will be in presence only. We are not going, I mean, we are not going to web stream the event. Because it's a real handshaking, it's a real B2B meeting, it's a real networking event, which needs, I mean, to be all together around the same table. I see also there's another participant who raised the hand, and I would like to kindly invite the participant to write the question in the chat, if possible. And nevertheless, you can keep on sending your questions. Of course, something that I forgot, you need to register for Water Knowledge Europe. The registration page can be found at the website of Water Europe, which is www.watereurope.eu. There you find, I mean, may I ask also my colleague Anka or Isa to put in the chat the registration link to Water Knowledge Europe, so that
I will put it in the chat as well, but maybe 2 minutes if I go through a bit with the registration for everybody. Please. To make it.
Yes,
yeah?
You're welcome. Absolutely, so, yes.
Super, maybe to make it easier for everybody. So I put now the link in the chat, and I will share my screen, if it's okay with you.
Sure, let's go ahead.
Share. So if you see it, It's noticeable, yes, you can see it.
Yeah.
So you go to the registration. There are multiple tickets for members and non-members, and for if you want just to attend or if you want to present a project idea. So if you are a member wanting to attend, you select this ticket. If you are a non-member wanting to attend this, if you want to present, again, 2 tickets, one for members, for Water Europe members, and one for non-members. The EU officials, of course, and national authorities have a special ticket because it's a free event for them. Non-members, of course, they are non-members of Water Europe. There is a fee in place. And then we have the dinners. And also, if you just can attend the 19th of October, the sessions, the 2 webinar, the 2 conferences on the 19th, only that you can register to attend exclusively that, the 19th. But if you want to attend the main event, these are the 4 tickets that are suitable for you. So let's see that, like, if I'm a member, because the audience right now it's formed majority by members, you select to register here, and you have again the same tickets. You have to pay attention when choosing it. So I'm a member, I'm selecting 1 here, or I'm a non-member, I'm selecting 1. We separated them because members of Water Europe, as Andrea said, have a session, have the morning of the 18th of October dedicated to working groups. Again, those are dedicated exclusively to members of Water Europe. And if you are, so you select this ticket. If you want to attend the dinner, it has a fee for everybody of €69 plus VAT. These prices do not include VAT. It will be added later. So now, if I'm a non-member, this would be the sum, okay? But if I'm a member, members have free access to all our events. So I'm selecting the member ticket and the dinner, because the dinner, as said, is with a fee, has a fee for everybody. And then you click on register, because both into the member and non-member tickets, the 19 side events are included, okay? You can select them if you want to attend or not. But the 19th are included. This is why in the tickets you have the to attend exclusively the 19, only if you can come only on the 19th of October. So you select, so this is for members, the working groups that you want to attend. They are in parallel. The water knowledge session, the B2B matchmaking session. If you select this, you will receive logging in information for the platform. We have a different networking, so matchmaking platform, which has artificial intelligence, and it recommends you, according with your interest, it recommends you contacts to meet, to arrange meetings with during water knowledge, but more information will be sent to you in the next days or next week. Again, the dinner, only if you selected the paid ticket, it is here, but you have to actually pay the ticket to attend, and the rest is pretty clear, okay? Members have their information already filled in because they are existing in our community, so you don't need to fill in the information. Non-members, yes, they have to fill in the information to be able to register, of course. So this is what I wanted to go through with everybody with the tickets, because it's important what ticket you select. Okay, if you want to attend the main event, the side events are also included. If you have any question, you are welcome to ask, and I can give you more details or reply just now. Thank you. Andrea?
I'm back. I'm here. Thank you so much, Anka, for the clear explanation. We are 1 minute beyond scale. Maybe now it's 11 o'clock, and the webinar was supposed to start to finish 1.5 minutes ago, so we are on time anyhow. On the one hand, we welcome questions that can be addressed to us. You can also address questions through the general email address of Water Europe, to the website. But on top, I mean, I really like to see you numerous at Water Knowledge Europe. This will be a very important Water Knowledge Europe because we close a work program and we open another one. So there's a lot of opportunities, and something else that I didn't mention is that we made a selection of the water and water-related suitable calls for proposal that are available now. And this, of course, will be shared only with the registrants, I mean, with the registered participants of Water Knowledge Europe. So once again, I mean, I would like really to see you participating at lots, up to the point that we have to refuse, I mean, the new registrations. And I take the opportunity for thanking, I mean, Jan Hoffman for his contribution, thanking Anka Paduraro for the support in explaining our registration work, and my colleague Isabella Gervasio for all the overall support for the preparation of this webinar. Once again, you are very much welcome. Join us. Let's make this Water Knowledge Europe another important flagship event in which the water sector will be well represented and express its capacity to take advantage of the opportunities given by Horizon Europe. Once again, thank you so much. All the best. See you in October. Thanks a lot. Bye.